the first layer of asphalt. Then you've got something to work off of. It's clean. Helps you with all this EPA stuff I've been telling you about. And but it just really doesn't happen that way very often. But the parking lot's the last thing we do, as a matter of fact. Because they want it clean and they don't want ruts in it from heavy concrete trucks. Most of it, like where you park your cars over there, that's not made for heavy traffic. I'm sure all of you driven by a Walmart in the middle of the night and there's 14 semis parked out there, guys are sleeping in them. And the next thing you know, I get a call and say, hey, my parking lot's breaking up. I mean, I actually have to send guys there with video cameras to film these trucks that are parking there in the middle of the night when the manager doesn't see them, that's tearing up their parking lot. Now the part where they bring their trucks in, that's heavy duty. You know, it's like an interstate construction.
Any examples of changes in technology from the time you started until now in materials, equipment, methods?
Well, you know, of course, you know, I don't know, any of you guys own a slide rule? or even know how to run one, you know, that's a big change. You got those, you know. I've been fortunate. I have stayed up with the technology pretty well. I mentioned I've got a 25-year-old daughter, so I had her pretty late in life. And because I kind of understood she was going to have to know about all this stuff, I forced myself to be computer literate. And that's probably the thing. The methods, I mean, you've got better equipment and more environmentally friendly equipment, but they're still cranes, or they're still bulldozers, or they're still scrapers. They're just bigger and newer and work better. But I would think the biggest change has just been using computers instead of doing it by hand. It speeds everything up. And then, of course, we have these new issues that people are concerned about, which I've about beat you to death with, but about safety and pollution and immigration that really don't have a whole lot to do with construction. Somebody asked me, shouldn't even talk about it. I have never had a bad accident on my jobs. And certainly no deaths, really no serious injuries. I mean, you know, a few broken bones, but we're pretty strict about safety.
So OSHA is happy with you?
Yeah, I once got a $300 fine because we didn't have rails on some scaffold. And it was an oversight. I mean, it's our fault. My superintendent knew it and let him get away with it. But we just don't. You know, nobody likes to wear a hard hat. Every time you lean over, it falls off. Too bad. That's part of the job, you know. Is it break?
Students would like to have a break for 5 minutes, or we push? What do you like? Push.
Go ahead.
Do you prefer to own some kind of equipment or rent?
No, and it's just me. I don't want to own anything that can be rented. But part of the reason for that, and this is a management style, really not, I think it's any business. I hate debt. Well, you go buy a $500,000 piece of equipment, and as you know, our friend Charlie Adams owns lots of that stuff. But I don't want to own it. The reason he does it is for convenience, not because it's that cost effective. You know, I rent Skytrax, you know, something to lift material with, maybe a Bobcat to clean up trash with. He's got to have that big stuff, and he's got to have it right now. But even big highway contractors like him will have rented equipment out there, because the particular job, you need 12 and he owns 8. But I don't do that kind of work, so the rare occasions when we need something, I'll rent it for 2 or 3 months, paying a huge price. Now, I tell you what I do own. I own generators. I own trash pumps, 2-inch water pumps. And I do that to this EPA business. We get a big old rain, you know, we got to keep that stuff on the site somehow. And sometimes you don't have time to go to 3 different rental stores and find what you need, so we own that. Then I own trailers to haul it in, and own 2 pickup trucks. Yeah, that's it.
How practically successful is the just-in-time policy or system? Just-in-time?
I don't, from my point of view, I don't want it just in time. I want it there now, if we don't need it until January 14th. But I have to admit, but see, here's what we do, and here's what Wal-Mart does. You get it here so we know we got it. I'll pay you for it. And in construction too, I think it's foolish not to buy, because everything is priced, you know, usually any pricing quotation you get is good for 30 days. You know, plywood's $32 a sheet. Oh, okay. You know, 3 months from now when you need it, it's $35. If you bid it at 32, so get it here, protect it. I'll pay the sub, Walmart will pay me. Now, I think for manufacturing, it's probably way better. It's, you know, you really don't need a bolt until the thing gets down the assembly line to where the bolt goes, you know, so. But it's repetitious. Ours really isn't repetitious, you know. You really have to be flexible with these. I mean, maybe the concrete guy is having a problem, and the electrician can't start work until that floor is there to run his equipment on. So, you know, he's got to shuffle over here and maybe work in the EDC, in the electrical distribution center, instead of running overheads like he planned to. You know, Walmart just looks like this. They light them up to about 80-foot candles. You probably got 100 in here. I hate additions. And it is difficult, but the most difficult thing is you can't close them. And not only can you not close them, you can't get those customers dirty. So, and usually, and they do it, a lot of it, remodels. I can't tell you the last time we got one, because when they insist that we bid them, we're just so high that, but they may tear a hole in the wall 3 places. So you got to build visqueen barriers, you know, to keep the dust off the customers, and get them new entrances so they're safe. And the manager is just yelling at you all the time, you know. I hate remodels.